All right.
Here we go.
Take two. Hi, Chris.
Hi. We're thriving today.
We are actually thriving. What's something that you say about yourself that you would never say to somebody else? Pretend that's the first time I've asked you that this morning.
Something I would say about myself that I would never
say to somebody else.
Oh,
like
say. And it has to be about me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'm pretty amazing. I'm not going to lie.
You are going to make this episode very difficult.
Welcome to Dysfunctionally Yours, the podcast where we embrace the chaos, laugh through the struggles, and find hope on the other side of trauma. I'm your host, Brittany, and if you've ever felt like your life was a beautifully messy roller coaster of dysfunction, trust me, you're in good company. Here, we'll have real, raw, and sometimes ridiculous conversations about mental health, relationships, and healing, because let's be honest, life isn't always pretty, but that doesn't mean we can't come out of it stronger and maybe even smiling. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of bubbles, and let's navigate this wild journey together, dysfunctionally, but never alone.
What did your watch say to you the other day?
Oh my God, it called me a fat little pig. It was like, oink, oink, piggy, oink, oink, do better. And I was like, oh my God, my watch literally just like basically threw slurs at me and told me I'm a horrible human and a waste of space. So, I mean, it didn't exactly say all of that, but it said something along the lines.
Those are the negative things. Those are the things that you tell yourself that you would never say that to somebody else, right?
Well, I said it
we
to
got
you.
There. You didn't tell me I was a waste of space. That's my point. Like the negative things that we tell ourselves that you wouldn't say to somebody else. You wouldn't tell somebody else that they were a piggy. You wouldn't tell somebody else that they're a waste of space. Like that's actual insanity right now.
That just kills me. You wouldn't tell someone else that they're a piggy. That kills me. Oh my God.
Like
you're right. Though.
And like honestly, would you let somebody that you love talk about themselves that way? Like if I walked up to you and I was like, I'm a waste of space, would you be like, yes, you are, queen. Yes, you are. Or no?
So no, I wouldn't. No, sorry. The Gen Z.
This episode is scrapped. We're done here.
The Gen Z in me wants to be like, yes, queen, we love self-awareness. But at the same time, hold on. At the same time, like on a serious note,
this is serious.
No, yes, I would say. I would say like I would be a little concerned and I'd be like, what's going on today to make you like, why is that the first thing that you're saying when you're walking through the door is that I'm a waste of space? Like, let's dissect that a little bit.
Right. So all that to say, today's episode, we're going to talk about the power of words, including the ones in our own heads, because those go a long way, good or bad. Like we'll get to all of those pieces, but damn, this is just tough getting there.
It's a long road, but we made it.
Yeah, that was a journey. So like, I think that it's very easy for us to have like casual self-insults from time to time, right? It's easy to look in the mirror and be like, ew, I don't like this about myself today, or ew, I'm lazy, or ew, I'm fat today, or I'm bloated, or I mean, sometimes we are just bloated, but like letting those things just really kind of get in our head. And a lot of times it's kind of like, but would you say that to somebody else? Would you walk up to somebody else and say, wow, you're really lazy?
Well, and you know what?
Or let somebody else tell you that, like, excuse you, sir.
Well, and it's interesting because like if someone were to approach me and they, let's say they were upset about not getting a workout in or something because of work or something else that came up, my response to that would honestly be well, it sounds like you had a bit more of a challenging week. Like give yourself some grace, like be kind to yourself. Like, yeah, you may not have hit your goals, but you can start fresh next week when things are a little less crazy. But then
Yeah.
it's interesting when it's myself, I'm
Right.
like, you fat lard. And I don't know if it's I don't really know why or where that comes from, but I think we all do it in some capacity where we're just really mean to ourselves.
Right. And it's very easy to just fall into that. And it's much harder to look at something like your example of how you reframe that for somebody else. Why don't we reframe those things for ourselves? Why can't we just say something like, I fucked up versus I am a fuck up? Like, and a
Like
lot of times,
just because I did one little thing wrong or out of step or whatever, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean like I messed up my entire life now
right.
and that I need to go like throw
Right.
myself down the stairs. Like,
bye, get well soon. No, I think that that's so true, right? We might stumble or I don't even like to use the word fail at something, but let's be honest, we don't always 100% succeed. And it's very easy to then be like, I failed at this. I'm a failure. I'm not good at anything at all. And then that's harder to come back out of. But you would never, ever, if somebody else like tried to do something, tried to start something new and they weren't successful at it, you would never be like, you're a failure. Stop. Give up.
no,
But we
honestly,
tell
I would
ourselves
say,
that
yay,
all
you
the
tried
time.
something new. Look at you like doing the thing and trying something new. I'm proud of you for getting out of your comfort zone and doing that.
Yeah. And we don't give ourselves that same grace. And it's super bizarre that is something that's so normal for us when we're the ones that are living with ourselves every single day. We're the ones that are living with ourselves every single moment. And at the end of the day, there's not always somebody else around to motivate us or pick us up or help us out or hold our hand. And so we do
No.
have to be the ones to come back out of it.
No.
But it's hard to come back out of it when you're sitting there being like, I failed, right? Like whatever that was, a new hobby or a new venture or a project at work that you dove into or, a new health routine or something like that. And it's like, oh, well, my cheat day turned into 4 cheat days and I guess my diet's out the window altogether and let me go binge for 5 days. What? Why? Why not just be like, it's okay. It's okay to start over today.
I love having several binge days in a week though. Like if I can make up any excuse to go binge eat something, like, oh my God, I had such a great day.
I deserve this.
No, literally, I'm not gonna lie. Literally, we have cooked at home maybe a total of 3 times in 2 weeks. It's been a journey. We're trying to get back on track. Anyway, now that everyone knows how my diet has been going, I'm glad you all tuned in to know how is Chris's diet.
Absolutely.
It's what all the viewers are just dying to know.
Yeah, that's what they wanted. That's what they care about. Do you think that being hard on yourself actually motivates you?
I don't know because I don't think it actually motivates. If anything, it just makes me feel like I already feel bad about this situation, whatever that is. And it's like me talking mad trash to myself, like, isn't going to make that situation any better. And so, no, and especially like from a social worker perspective, like the world is hard. Like the world is so hard. It is hard to get up, get out of bed, put clothes on and just go to work every day some days. Yeah. And I think we need to try to remind ourselves, like when that voice comes into our head, that's like, you're not good enough. You're not worthy of love. You're not worthy of X, Y, and Z. You don't deserve to be happy. You're a shitty person. Like, I think we need to try to, in those moments, like recognize that and reframe that a bit to be like, no, these are negative thoughts. That's not going to like suit me well today. Yes, maybe my day isn't going as well as it could be, but I know that these intrusive thoughts they are not how I really feel. I am a good person. I'm a good human. Like for me, it's really trying to recognize in the moment, and I'm still not great at it.
For sure.
by any means. I probably, honestly, it's about a 50-50 shot. Either I'm gonna crash out and go and do the thing and probably eat a triple cheeseburger, or I'm
That
gonna be
sounds
like,
so good right now. I'm starving. Sorry.
she is ravenous, folks.
I'm
Ravenous.
I've been sick as a dog for a week and have had minimal appetite. I think the other day I ate a tortilla, just like chomping on a tortilla.
Like a little
So
rabbit.
like
Nom, nom,
now
nom.
I'm the triple cheeseburger. Get in my gut. Sorry.
No,
I
you're
digress.
good. You're no, that's valid. That's valid.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like some days, like, yeah, it's either that or I can choose to be like, okay, what that
You
looks
got to
like.
regulate it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. I know like there was definitely a time whenever I was at like my lowest of lows, whenever I was battling all kinds of suicidal ideations and things like that. It was very easy that if I took one misstep, it was very easy to be like, I'm awful. I'm the worst person. I don't deserve to be here. The world's better off without me. Such low self-talk and low self-worth. But I was convinced. I was convinced that like my kids were better off without me, that my family was better off without me, that like I wasn't adding anything to this world. And it took a lot of work, right? So to say like, oh, we might have this passing this negative thought because I fell off of my diet. Sure, that is somebody's reality. And it means a lot. And also there is a harder side, not that it's harder, but that like there's a very different side of that spectrum as well, that it can be so serious and so detrimental to our, not just day-to-day life, but to like our life as a whole, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're in those moments, you're actually not seeking out support from other people. You're actually not seeking out somebody to help change that. You're actually sort of looking for those things to continue to validate that negative self-talk. And you're like, see, there was another thing. See, I was late. My friends were disappointed in me. I failed. I'm a shitty friend. See, I knew I was right. So I think that those things can be very, very, very damaging as a overarching whole. And we do need to be very careful of it, so that we don't, it's a slippery slope, I guess.
I'm curious. When we went to brunch last week and you were like 15 minutes late, did you have any negative self-talk?
No,
okay.
I didn't. I was just
look at you. That was a good healthy moment then.
I know.
Because you seem so stressed about that. And like I'm kind of the same way though. Like I get super anxious.
Awful.
Yeah. I get super anxious when I'm in situations where I'm like, even though I am known for being late to almost everything in my life.
Same.
I'm never on time for anything.
For sure.
I actually had a situation where I wasn't feeling the best like a couple of weeks ago. So I took a Friday off of work and one of my coworkers ended up covering all of my work related stuff. And I felt awful. I felt terrible. I spent hours thinking about like, I should have just went to work. I shouldn't have. I even though clearly I wasn't in a space where I was going to be productive.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't feeling my best, but I spent the better half and I kept kind of texting them and I'm like, I was like, I'll cover this day for you. And they were like, Chris.
Yeah.
You're fine. But I guess
fine.
had it in my head that like my coworker hates me now. I messed up there. And it was a Friday. No one likes to do things on a Friday. And so, but again, that's me making up.
Yeah, the story you tell yourself.
Things in my head, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I can absolutely relate to that because I don't ever call out sick. Never call out sick. And the fact that I had to call out sick multiple days in a row this week from work, I wasn't there. I felt horrible. I'm like, I failed. I failed as a supervisor. I failed at my team. And meanwhile, I've like kept my team up to date. They're very aware. They're very set up. They're very capable. They're very fine. And I still was over here being like, I'm so sorry I let you all down. It was hard for me to call in sick because I was like, I'll just work from home. I can do everything. I'll do emails from my bed. I'll do what I can. I'll do reports from my bed. And I'm like, but
while you have a
why?
103 fever coughing up your lung, you're like,
yes.
You're like, yeah, I probably have like pneumonia or something, but I'm okay. I can just call me in. It's
I'll
fine.
thug it out. Yeah. So I get that 100%. That's hard. Where do you think we learned to talk to ourselves like this?
Part of me part of me believes that we are a product of our environment. And I truly, I feel like negative thoughts and negativity in general is something that is almost a learned behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've talked about like my it wasn't wonderful by any means, my wonderful childhood. If you couldn't catch the sarcasm for those listening, it was not wonderful in the slightest.
I'll never be the same again.
I'll never be the same again. Yeah. And so I think being around like, parents who weren't emotionally mature and regulated and, the people that were supposed to be like my guide, this is how you experience the world. This is how you show emotion. They failed. They did none of that. And now here I am calling myself a piggy when I don't reach the steps, like my step goals on my watch. And so I really believe that I think it is learned behavior. And I think I think it also goes to show like the amount of people that grow up around parents and adults who can't appropriately express emotion, or or maybe they talk bad about themselves. I mean, like, how many parents have just talked about themselves horribly to their own kid? Like, how are we supposed to respond to that then? Then in turn, when something bad happens in our lives, we do the same thing and the cycle continues.
Mm-hmm. And the cycle, I would 100% have to agree. I think having been called some of the worst names on the planet by the rattlesnake, just really, like, how am I supposed to think any different of that? How am I supposed to truly believe that like anything but that could be true? And so, yeah, you do carry those things with you, and it does take a lot more to unlearn that, right? If it took you 14, 15, 18 years to learn that, how long do you think it takes to unlearn that when you don't actually know that that's a problem? First, you have to realize it's a problem. And that doesn't just happen like the second you remove yourself from that situation, because, well, that's not how trauma works. So, I think that can be really tricky, but I have to agree that it's definitely a learned behavior, and like poor coping skills and low self-awareness, and just you thought this was the right thing to do. You thought this was normal, so you do it. And I think what you said about parents speaking negatively outwardly about themselves and children hearing it, then it's also like, oh, I'm watching you do that. So not only are you calling me names, but I'm watching you say negative things about yourself. So therefore, that's also normal. Now it's normal for me to say shitty things about you, but it's also normal for me to say shitty things about me. I think you're right that that's equally as damaging as saying it about somebody else.
And I think too, like, let's say, I'll give a personal example here. Like, let's say you have something that you're super hyped about, that you feel good about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You're like, oh, this is so good. I remember when I was in middle school, I had this like shirt that I got that like, I really liked it. I thought it was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never forget this. This is like, I don't know, 13-year-old 13-year-old Chris, like thinking, oh, I got a nice new shirt, I'm gonna wear it to school. My dad saw me in it and he was like, wow, that looks gay.
Oh no. That's not even funny. I'm sorry.
No, don't.
I was unprepared.
I know.
I was unprepared for that.
No, like for once, Chris is having a serious
I know,
moment.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's okay to laugh now.
Right. All these years later.
But I remember, like, I was so hyped. I just got this shirt. I just went like back to school shopping or something, got some new clothes or whatever. And this was one of the shirts I like picked out. And in retrospect, it wasn't even gay. Like, it was not that any shirt is gay. I mean, there are some, I mean, anyway.
I was like, what?
Okay,
there are some that scream, I'm gay. Literally, I'm gay on
No,
them.
I know. And this shirt was not that. Like it was a white shirt. It had like a black star on it with some blue stuff, and I like blue and all of that. But I specifically remember him saying that, and I was like, because at that point in my life, I was still figuring out my life,
Yeah,
and
totally.
subconsciously I was like, I can't wear this now. I can't wear this shirt to school. Like I don't need to be I don't need to make a bigger scene, if you will, and
Yeah.
out myself, even though I wasn't quite sure what I was at 13, although I had a good idea, if that makes sense. Like it was one of those,
Yeah.
like, I'm choosing not to, like, I know, but I can't. And so that just like, and then that made me start to dislike the shirt. I was like, well, this is a horrible shirt then. Like
Yeah.
I can't wear it. I'm gonna look
Yeah.
extra,
Yeah, for sure.
all of that. But it just goes to show, and it's like, I look back at that now and I'm like, one, I understand that that's a bit of like that my dad's response to that was because he's a product of his environment
Totally.
and it was different times. And also, like, how dare anyone come in and just take a giant poo on something that makes you so happy and so fulfilled? Like how why do we do that? Like why do we need to comment where commentary is not necessary? Like it's okay if you don't like the shirt, but you don't walk up to someone and say, well, that looks gay as fuck.
Right. So I think that really goes, my next question was really going to be like, what's something that somebody said about you years ago that you still really remember? And so like that one sticks
that
out.
That memory was just right there. It was ready. I didn't even have to dig for it.
Right. And I think like I have been being told my whole life that I'm too dramatic. And I think that is always, that's really stuck. And it's turned into like very, very ruminating. You're too much, you're too much, you're too much. And that has been very damaging and very detrimental along the way. But the rattlesnake has been telling me that I was too dramatic all the time, no matter what my response was.
Brittany, cut the theatrics.
Right.
It's all a performance. Like,
right. I
can't even get through a dinner.
Well, I literally ended up with stitches in the side of my head because of her physical abuse, and her response ended up being like, if you weren't so dramatic, this wouldn't have happened. And it's like, right, you're right. I shouldn't have responded that way. So like it sticks in your head in some sort of way. And then it goes on, and then it almost becomes this self-fulfilling prophecy that anytime you do something right, I'm a big personality. I'm a really big personality, and it took me a really long time to 100% believe that big personality was a positive attribute that I have. And I've had to have multiple people in multiple different arenas across the way be like, don't dull that. Like, lean into that. It's okay. It's okay that you're not more reserved. It's okay. You just have to learn how to navigate that, to lean into that and to use that in your favor. But like, that's still to this day, 45 years later, I'm still like, was I too much? Did I text too many times? Was my text too much? Right. And so I think that in a negative sense, that has been something that I've told myself always, and I have to untell myself, and I have to believe other people. Like I have to believe that the people around me don't believe that I am, and that they really find something really powerful in that like very warm and very comforting. And that because I do show up the way that I do, people genuinely know, like, yeah, she's here because she shows up. Right. Like she's a lot, but like she's going to be a lot for me the same way she's a lot for you. Like I'll ride hard for you the same way I would ride hard for myself. Like I got you. I'm a good corner to be in because I got you.
Well, and sometimes I wonder too, because I'm not perfect. I have had thoughts about things that I probably like shouldn't even give the time of day to, and in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really matter. But I saw this video on TikTok actually. I can't remember if I shared it with you, but essentially, there's this group on TikTok that is going around, and they are finding like they're trying to spread happiness, and they do that by going to videos that have the most hateful comments and filling them with positive comments. And this one really caught my attention. This heavier woman was posted a TikTok, and she was so excited because she got a new car. She was like, "Look at my new car. Like, I've worked so hard for it."
Yeah.
Every person in the comment section made a weight comment and was like, "Maybe you should get healthy, and maybe you should do X, Y, and Z." And that the group ended up going in to that video and spammed her video with very nice, like, "Congratulations, you worked so hard on that car." But it's like, why is it as humans, why do we feel the need to like, if someone is expressing something and they're so happy, why is it that we automatically want to pick it apart and make something negative out of it? And honestly, does that say more about them as people than it, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it really made me, it made me really stop and think. And it's made me kind of reflect on like, maybe the next time someone says something that I may not love, or someone, talks about, "Oh, I'm going to get sushi," because honestly, I hate sushi. I don't love sushi. It's
I
not for
love
me.
sushi.
And so literally Ryan was like, the last week, he was like, "I'm going to go have sushi with our friends." And I was like, "That's gross. Have fun." But and that was my reaction. And I'm like, I should probably say, "Go enjoy your sushi. I know you can't do that with me." But instead of being like, "Oh my God, ew, gross sushi," I should have just been like, "Have a good time at sushi with our friends. I'll see you for dinner." So it's like, why, I don't know. What do you think? Why do you think we just automatically, like, sometimes we go to that place of just it being so negative, when it's like, we don't really need to do that. We don't have to do that. And it takes us more energy to express negative thoughts than it does to just be present and be in a place of, that's really cool. I'm excited for you. Go enjoy that thing,
Yeah. Well, I think, and it goes back into the idea that like words have so much power and we don't even realize it sometimes. Like, we can say it and you can be like, "Oh, sure." But we don't even realize it, how much, like, okay, Ryan's probably not taking it super personally that you were like, "Ew," because Ryan knows you, and that tracks. And also, but if it was somebody else, right? Or if it was a different topic, right? Like, maybe it would kind of hurt his feelings, or, it would hurt somebody else's feelings. Like, does that make me gross? Am I a gross person for that? Like, we don't really know, because we don't know what other people are going through. We don't know what other people's thoughts have already told them as they walked out the door today. So no, but I think the other side of that can also be true, right? Can you think of like a compliment or a kind statement that you've never forgotten that somebody said?
Actually, yes. This really stands out to me. I was on a walk one morning, and so one of the houses I walk by, they have like chickens in them. And I was doing something cringe. I was taking a video, a Snapchat, and there were like chickens in the background, and it was like me saying, "Good morning, chickens," and I was going to send it to my friends. And
So
some
cute.
lady in her car stopped, and I was like, "Oh no, she's going to tell me that I should have been recording someone's chickens," and I got freaked out. But she was like, "Hey," it wasn't about chickens at all. She was like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know, I have watched you walking."
You've told me that one.
Yeah,
You
like,
told me that years ago. I remember that.
she was like, "I have seen you walking. I've seen you drop the weight. Like, I've just seen you like around the neighborhood so many times, and I just wanted to catch you." I think she was a teacher. She looked like she had a teacher's lanyard on, and it was like over a year ago. Yeah. But anyway, she was just like, "I just want to let you know, I think you're doing a fantastic job. You are taking care of your body, and
Yeah.
it shows." And she was like, "God bless you." And like, I'm not super religious, but that comment coming from someone else, like,
A stranger.
that made me a stranger who is
who
apparently
stopped their car to talk to you. Yes.
yeah,
Went out
like,
of their way.
went out of their way, and they were like, you've done great. God bless you. Have a great day. And I was like, wow, like someone I don't even know has apparently been watching my progress from afar, which doesn't surprise me because I do the same route in my neighborhood when I do my workouts, even to this day, because I'm a creature of habit and I don't
Yeah.
like going different places. So like the people I'm pretty sure like recognize me, right? And for someone to just stop and be like, I've seen how much weight you've lost. I've seen the progress. You're doing great. Keep going. I was like, that was one of the most wholesome moments like in my life. And it was really at a time where like I needed that because
Yeah.
there are some days where I'm like, I just want to eat extra
Triple
large
cheeseburger.
triple cheeseburger pizza with cheese
Yeah.
fries and sour cream and all the things. And there are days where I'm like, oh, why am I still doing this? But I remind myself of that moment. I'm like, it's to be healthy. It's to be the best version of myself. It's to feel good.
Yeah.
It's to like how I look in certain clothes now.
Yeah.
And so, no, that was just, I will never forget it. I will never, ever forget that. That was such a sweet, wholesome moment.
Yeah. No, I remember you walking away from that moment.
I was giddy.
And
I
you
was
were
like,
giddy
what?
about it. It was a big deal then. So I think it's very cool to know that it's still a big deal today. And it is, right? So I would say something. It was during COVID and I had started working at Victoria's Secret just to fill my time. And I remember one of the girls that was like that whole team that I worked with, those women were the ultimate hype crew. I think working with them for the however many months, or I don't remember how long I worked with them, a year, I don't even remember. But they were the best hype crew and they would like be like, you need to wear this. You would look so good in this. And I like hated my body, hated it. And they were so good about being like, oh no, and like pushed me so far outside of my comfort zone that something finally just switched, right? I'd be like, okay, let me try this new thing. And I would come in and they'd be like, oh my God. And they would just ooh and ah and like gaggle over it. It was so great. And so then it really got in my head that like, oh no, excuse me? Like I'm a bad bitch. Like, and
Yeah.
that really,
Slay
really
queen, period.
really shifted things. It shifted how I dressed. It shifted how I thought about myself. It shifted how I thought that I could walk out. Like it definitely changed a lot in my confidence that, yeah, since my brother's past has faltered a little bit with because, depression and weight gain and blah, blah, blah. But like, I know it's there. Like you'll never be able to take that away from me again. And that was very, very powerful. And I didn't know all these girls. They weren't my best friends. They didn't owe me shit, right? Like it was some little part-time gig that I don't care, but it meant a lot. And I just remember all of their compliments and like how powerful they thought that I was as a human being. And so it was one of those things like, you don't even know me and you see something in me that I'm not giving myself enough credit for. And I probably should. So other people really do have the ability to change how we see ourselves for better or for worse. And so I think knowing that, like you with the lady and me with that situation, knowing that it just takes one person or one group of people or one moment even to be like, oh, that's enough to hold on to in a positive way, then I think it does become our responsibility to be like, okay, then I'm going to put more of that out there because I know what an impact, I know how big words can be. I know how much they can change somebody for the better. I would rather change somebody for the better. I don't want to be somebody that changes somebody for the worse.
And it doesn't even have to be like I think also we think that it needs to be this big, huge moment. And I another example that I'm thinking of, this happened to me a couple weeks ago. I went to King Soopers for something. I don't know what I was there for, but for something. And I was wearing my shirt that said part of the Silly Goose Club, and it had a goose on it.
Yeah.
And multiple people like stopped me in the store and they were like, hey, cool shirt.
Yeah.
And I was like, I would like look down because I would like forget that I was even wearing it. But I was like,
Yeah.
oh, thanks. Like,
thanks.
like, I don't know, just like little things like that. I'm like, you know what? I am a silly goose. I am part of the silly goose club. I have a yearly membership. It's great.
I'm a gold card carrying member.
I am premium, but just little things like, I think like the bigger moments, like with the working out and the weight and like the hyping you up, like those are great. But then also like taking those smaller moments of just like someone being like, hey, cool shirt that you're wearing today. Like you rock that shit. Like
Yeah.
good on you. Good for you. Like I think those smaller moments are also really powerful and important.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. Have you ever said something that like you immediately wished you could take back?
Boy, yeah, lots. Honestly, like the list is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long list. Oh God, that makes me sound like such a horrible. I promise I'm not a horrible person, everybody.
No, I think it just makes you sound human.
I do have quite a few things that I've said to people, but and I'm not always defending it, but I think again, being a product of my environment, there are
Mm,
things that I've said to people because they have said something hurtful to me.
sure. Yeah.
God. So my adoptive mom, she really struggled with her mental health, but her parents were also abusive towards her. Like her dad actually beat her so hard in the ear that she had a scar on
Yeah.
her ear. And I remember one day she was just yelling and cussing at me over something. And I was like, I kind of said, well, no wonder your dad.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So like now granted, I was a teenager, keep
yeah.
that
Yeah.
in perspective. I was an angry teenager. I had this person who was supposed to love and support me, and they were just screaming right in my face, telling me what a piece of garbage I am. And so, like, I had to feel like I had to defend myself in some way. Like, 16-year-old Chris was like, are you just going to stand here and let this person berate you and make you feel
Yeah.
so small? And so I had to try to prompt myself up a little bit or prop myself up a little bit. And so I said some awful things too. Like I don't pretend to be like that I was some easy teenager growing up and that I
Yeah.
was like all, flowers and rainbows and unicorns. My dad probably would have called that gay. Just kidding, everybody. There's the humor to cope. But yeah, like I have said things over the course of my life that have been really hurtful,
Yeah.
and I think 9 times out of 10 it's always because someone has done something or said something that was really hurtful to me. And I
Yeah.
think that's also a toxic pattern that I try not to do that anymore. Like even if someone has said something hurtful to me, it's not about one upping anymore. It's not about like making myself feel bigger when someone else is trying to make me feel small. I think for me, it comes down to my energy and what I want to put energy towards. And
Yeah.
I could say every nasty thing in the book to someone that was horrible to me. And honestly, I don't want to give that the time of day anymore. Like I
Yeah.
want to be around people that lift me up, and I want to be someone that can lift other people up and to be like a big cheerleader for all the people in my life. And that I kind of look at it as like I'm trying to break that cycle of like that generational cycle of just what we've been taught. And like you were saying earlier, it takes a lot of time. Like imagine it being 20, it took you 20 years to learn something. Imagine how long it's going to take to
Yeah.
unlearn something.
To unlearn it. Yeah. And you don't always have people around that are challenging you to be better, right? You don't always know. You don't know until you know. And so I think that can be tricky as well. I definitely know I can relate with the sentiment of like saying awful things because other people said something. I know I used to very much be able to pride myself in being able to make somebody cry just because like you crossed me the wrong way, and I will use every word that I have to make you small and tiny and sob. Go cry in the corner. Literally, go sob away. And that made me feel very powerful and also made me feel like an asshole. and then I'm over here like, oh, well, I wouldn't have said that to somebody else. I wouldn't have done that. I feel awful. I feel terrible. And it's like, I don't want to feel bad after an interaction with somebody. I don't want to feel bad that I made somebody else feel bad anymore. Like, you want to feel bad. You want to be nasty. You want to be mean. It's like you said earlier, like, that says more about you than it does about me. I don't need to, like, it makes me more powerful that I didn't say anything back to you. Like, you know what? You have the day you deserve. You go on, you have the day you deserve. And you know what? If you have a great day, then great. And if somebody else is going to feel like it's their responsibility to make you feel small, that's their problem too. Like, this is not about me, because at the end of every interaction I have, I really want to be able to walk away and feel okay with myself that I did okay. And I don't want somebody to remember Brittany as the person that made them cry, the person that made them feel small, the person that took away their success or something like that. Like, I want somebody to be like, oh yeah, Brittany had my back. Brittany was in my corner. Brittany was nice. Brittany was kind, like, whatever. So I think that goes a long way. And we absolutely don't get to decide which of our words land on somebody or how they land on somebody. So I would rather put more good out than not, because I don't know what kind of day you had.
Yeah.
And if the last thing you heard was me say something nasty, like, I don't know what that's going to do to your day, or if it's going to be that comment that sticks in your head that's like, that girl said whatever, that you're pathetic. Like, ew, what a gross word. I would be mortified. I would never call somebody that.
When when I was very little, I had one of my eyes was actually cross-eyed, and I got surgery. So it doesn't fix like the quality of my vision, but it aesthetically I'm beautiful. So like it doesn't go cross-eyed anymore. But I had to do patching when I was a kid. So like they would patch my good eye to force my less strong eye to see better. And I remember kids in elementary school like making fun of me, and they called me like a pirate, and no one would play with me at recess because they thought I was a pirate. And I would cry and I would take the patch off, and like my parents
Yeah.
like would like they would be like, Chris, you need to wear your patch. And I'm like, no, like people, like it's not right. Like other people don't wear patches. Like other people
Yeah.
make fun of me. The kids won't play with me at recess.
Yeah.
And and it's wild how like those early experiences, like, and part of me wonders, is that why I don't like wearing my glasses? Like, because it's just
Probably.
different. Like
Probably.
I'm supposed to wear glasses at least when I work, because I'm in front of literally my entire job is in front of a computer screen all
Yeah.
day, every day, but I just don't. And it doesn't feel natural to me. And part of me sometimes wonders that because like, do I still feel like, first grade Chris, like being ridiculed on the playground for being different, even though logically I'm like, everyone wears glasses. Everyone has health problems. We all battle different things. It is what it is, and that needs to be okay. But man, we are so damn mean. We should always lift each other up and cheer each other on, instead of having it be this huge, huge divide. Even if we don't like someone like 100%, like
Yeah.
that doesn't mean that we need to just go around and put out negative energy into the world. It's
No, not at
exhausting
all.
to do
It's
that.
exhausting. And I already don't have the energy to do that. So I think it's important to remember, right, as a takeaway, that like not every thought deserves to become a belief of ours at all. Not every word that somebody gave you deserves to become like take up permanent residence in your brain and become your own inner dialogue. And to remember that not every word that you say, like, you don't know how that's going to land on somebody else, right? Like, you just don't have power over that. So it's important to be mindful of our words to ourselves, just as it's important to be careful of our words to other people. But I think it is easier. We do find it easier to be kind to other people and not so much ourselves. So, but with that, what's your ache and relief of the week?
What is my ache and relief of the week? I guess my ache of the week was, and it sounds so pathetic. because, and I've already said it. Nope, no
Wait, what?
negative self-talk.
I'm like,
what
you
did we
just
just
did
do? What did we just do? No, it's not pathetic. It's valid. I am valid in my experience.
Exactly.
My ache of the week is just having to work a little bit of a longer week, and that's a little bit out of my normal schedule, and
Yeah.
that caused me to be late to getting home. It caused like me not to want to cook good dinners, and then I didn't get steps in. So it was just a little bit of an off week. This week is going to be so much better though. Like
Yeah.
my week is normal again. I have a couple of days where I get to be remote, and so I on those days I start my day a little early so I can go out and do my workouts before it gets hot. So I'm motivated, and that's going to be good. But yeah, that was my ache, just having my week been thrown off a little bit.
Threw off your routine.
My relief of the week, I can't remember if I talked about this or not, but I have hotels and stuff booked finally for
Ooh,
Scotland. So
that's fun.
now we have more than just a destination. We have a place to sleep, and that makes it feel so
It's coming
real.
together. Yeah.
It is. And like now I'm starting to think about like I want to get tickets to the Chocolatorium. You can make your own whiskey chocolate bars there. So I'm going to do a tour of that. There's like an underground city tour. So yeah, Scotland trip is slowly coming together. I'm stoked. I'm so happy to get the hell out of the United States for 2 weeks too.
That's so fun. That's so fun.
So it's coming up. It's almost September. We're getting close to the 1 month mark. And I'm like, wow. I'm gonna be
Are you going in September or October?
October,
Okay.
like 6th or something. It's early-ish October.
Okay. That's very exciting. My ache of the week is that I've been sick. So sick. I haven't been sick in 3.5 years. So the fact that I've been so sick, can't get out of bed, just perishing. Eating a tortilla. Just perishing day by day. Hate. So that I didn't love. That was not awesome. My relief of the week, I went on a date.
Spill the deets.
I'll tell you.
That's an offline conversation.
And I think not so much that I went on, like, not so much the person of the date, but like I haven't been on a date in a long time. It was a lot of fun. It was great communication. And I think for somebody who sits here all the time and I'm like, I don't want that. I don't need that. That's not something I look for. That's not something I care about. I think to sort of have this very unexpected situation come up and to follow through with it and to really enjoy myself and enjoy that moment, regardless of what comes out of that. Like that moment was just a lovely moment. And so I think that was really nice for me, very outside of my norm, very outside of my comfort zone. And to know that I can, if I wanted, was very cool. So that's my relief. And
Yay.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I was honestly so like when you were like, I'm going on a date, I was like, what?
I know.
And immediately I went into planning mode. I was like, what are you going to wear? I started looking for outfit. I was looking for outfits for you.
I know, like you sending me links to dresses and to this and to that. I'm like, oh my God, I have my very own personal stylist. This man is totally on board with this, like super, super, super excited about this situation. And my therapist was super excited about this situation. Like everybody that I told, which I guess you guys are the only, and my kids knew, but like, well, they only kind of knew, sort of know, whatever. But like, I guess you guys are like, you and my therapist are like the only, and now everybody else in the whole wide world, but the only people that knew. But I told him, I was like, my therapist is going to be so excited about this because this is not what I do. I do not do this. And like,
you told that to your date?
Yeah, absolutely.
I love the confidence in that though.
Absolutely. Well, and it was just
thanks for asking me on a date. I can't wait to tell my therapist.
Well, I think it's because it's something that is so outside of my norm. And so I think you hear a lot of people say, and it's become this very like funny cliche in the world that's like, I never do this. But like, I don't.
Literally, yeah.
I don't. And
no, I was shocked. I'm not going to lie. I was like, whoa.
Yeah. So the fact that like I don't and I did, it was worth noting and it was worth mentioning because that's kind of funny. And the people that knew were like, what? Tell me everything, because this is not a weekly or a monthly or even a bi-monthly situation that you're like, let's get the tea. No, this is like once every never situation. So yeah. But anyways, that was fun. So with that, new episodes come out every single Monday. You can follow on all social media platforms. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. If you're really feeling frisky, you can leave a review on whatever platform you're listening on. And don't be afraid to be great. Toodles, poodles, bye.
Bye.